Well, hey, thank you for taking the time to do this. And I mean, you've got to be getting kind of tired of these by now, aren't you? Are you beat up from these yet?
Do you know what? It's nice to socialize.
That's true.
We've all been locked out for so long.
Right, exactly. Well, congrats on the new record. It's excellent. And give me a little bit of a background on kind of how this came about and how Danny Rexon kind of approached you for this, right?
Yeah, it was kind of out of the blue. So basically, I started doing covers on YouTube. Just didn't think anything of it, but I'm really glad that I did, because that's how Danny ended up finding me for this project. So he was trying to scout for a female singer to front this project idea he had, and he came across one of my covers, and then here I
am. Nice. I mean, so of all you've been compared to a lot of different artists here from this record. But out of all of them, I mean, is there one that's more particularly flattering to you, or that holds a better place in your heart at all? I mean, I guess how familiar were you with all of the sort of the artists you're being compared to?
So probably the one that I looked up to the most when I was a bit younger was the first one that I discovered was Pat Benatar, because my sister was playing Pat Benatar and I was absolutely in love with that album. And then I discovered Robin Beck. So to be like in the same category as these amazing women is pretty insane. I can't quite believe it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny too. I mean, Danny had mentioned this as well, that there really isn't. There are female rockers out there. Don't get me wrong. There's not a lot in this genre and in this style of music. So I mean, is it intimidating at all, or is it challenging at all to kind of have to be kind of looked at in the same breath as some of these other singers? And is there kind of expectations that you kind of have to set for yourself?
I don't feel intimidated by it. I didn't know how it was going to be accepted today, because obviously it is hitting on that 80s feel and bringing it back to life today. But for some reason, everybody is very, very happy about it. And I feel like it's been lost for a long time. And I'm hoping that I can really start to bring that feel back today, because I think it's missing. I really do. And Danny does as well. So, yeah. I'm hoping that I'm the start of bringing it back. Come on.
Nice. Was it challenging to sing this style of music? Because this is a bit different than Caned. So I mean, it kind of describes sort of the vocal approach that you had for this as compared to kind of what you were known for before this.
Yeah, it's everything that I sing can be a challenge. I feel like Danny sent some songs over, and yes, like Midnight Rendezvous was a hell of a challenge, because it's right up there, the ball breaker of the album. But I sing from the heart. I sing as me. I have loads of inspirations, and they've kind of rubbed off on me over the years. I feel like I've taken inspirations from so many different people, but the way that I sing the songs, I feel like it's all me. But obviously there are inspirations there.
Yeah, nice. So what was it like working with Danny as a producer?
Amazing. Yeah, it's been really nice to work with somebody who's so down to earth, and we both have the same vision, and yeah, we've just clicked really well, and everything we've been sending back and forth to each other, we've kind of there was no like we had the same vision, and we were like, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So everything that we put to each other was awesome. It just worked really well. We just worked well together.
Did you have to do this whole record? I mean, did you do this whole thing virtually pretty much? I mean, how much of it was in person were you able to actually get together for, and how much of it was sort of traded across the, emails and Zoom chats and the like?
Yeah, so it was kind of annoying, because when we decided we were going to be doing this project, COVID hadn't hit yet. And the plan was that he was either going to fly to the UK or I was going to fly to Sweden. And then obviously COVID hit. And it did put the project back about 6 months. So I was doing the vocals. Thankfully, I could do them at home. So I recorded all the vocals at home in South Wales, and Danny did the rest in Sweden.
Nice. Yeah. The miracle of technology these days.
Thank the Lord, yeah.
Absolutely. So what's it like for you now, kind of being more sort of in the spotlight than obviously with your other project? I mean, this is you front and center. So what's that adjustment kind of been like?
It's pretty mind-blowing. I still can't quite believe what's going on, to be honest. I didn't know how the album was going to take off. Every day there's something new. There's new people reaching out to me from all over the world. And I'm just, it feels like a bit of a dream that I haven't woken up from yet. So I'm just taking it all in. I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm not sleeping very well, I got to be honest, because my head is like constantly on the go. But yeah, it's a nice feeling, very nice feeling.
Is there so now there's a plan to play live too? You just booked your first live show for later this year or late this year, correct?
Yes. Super excited about that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, have you thought about kind of sort of what that live approach is sort of going to entail, and kind of how you're going to have to. I mean, obviously too, there's probably going to be an adjustment there as being the front woman and kind of commanding the stage kind of on your own or more on your own. I mean, I'm sure that you got some flamboyant guys.
Oh, you're making my stomach flip here.
I'm sorry. I'm putting too much. I'm getting too far ahead here. I'm sorry. We'll just stick with the record.
No, I keep thinking like the second that I'm gonna step out on stage for the first time with this band, and I'm just like, oh my God. Super excited. I can't wait. There's definitely going to be pre-nerves, but I think the adrenaline will take over and I'm just going to love it, but then it's going to go by very fast probably. And then I'll be like, I want to go back out there.
Are you guys going to plan to tour this record too? I mean, is that the goal for next year?
I think that I would already be out touring if I could right now. I love performing live. It's the fun part to me, and I'm gutted that I'm not able to be out there right now promoting the album. But yes, as soon as I can, a tour would be awesome, please.
Do you think, I mean, we talked about this a little bit before. I mean, obviously with this 80s style, this is definitely kind of coming back around a little bit, and you're seeing it a lot more, especially here in the States. You see it a lot more in pop songs. Like you're seeing a lot. I mean, they tend to sort of really producers sort of put it in the box of kind of what they're doing sort of today, but there's definitely more of an 80s influence kind of going on in the music world today. I mean, do you think you can kind of carve out that niche and kind of bring sort of the hard rock aspect of that back a little bit?
Oh, I really hope so. I feel like we've all had such a bad year that I feel people are craving this kind of music again, the fun music that picks up your spirits. And I feel like that might be one of the reasons why it's becoming a thing and people are spreading my album everywhere, because it is that kind of music that just makes you happy. And we all need that right now. So yeah, I hope so. It feels like it's making a comeback, and I hope that I can really help bring that side back today. Come on, let's do it.
Absolutely. So I want to just get into a couple of specific tracks off the record here. A couple ones that really stood out to me at first. I mean, the whole record is great, top to bottom. But the one that really caught me, I mean, you released "Too Late for Love" first, and then "Rockin' on the Radio" was the one that was like, oh my God, that one to me immediately is like holy anthem. That's just such a cool song. So tell me about how that one kind of came together and what your impressions of it were when Danny kind of first sent it over to you.
Instantly, I was like, this is a summer anthem. This is awesome. It's just one of those, it's like the lyrics say it all. Cruising with the windows down, you can just hear it and you can just feel being in a car with the windows down and just being like, yeah. So when I heard it for the first time, I was absolutely super excited. And instantly I was like, this is going to be a hell of an anthem and I can't wait to perform it live. I think it's going to be one of those songs where everybody's hopefully singing along with me. Yeah, I love the song. It's awesome.
Nice. Well, so then, and speaking, the first single that you put out, was "Too Late for Love." I mean, that one's got a little bit more of a. There's a part in there that sounds really, and I know Danny's such a his 80s influences show through on everything kind of he does, but there's a part of there like where it's sort of structured. It reminds me of a couple like David Lee Roth solo tunes. The way it kind of transitions. I don't know if you got that at all, but yeah. But
what was so impressed with that?
Nice. Well, speak to that one a little bit. What were your impressions when you first heard that?
So "Too Late for Love" has got to be, I would say, my second favorite of the album. I just feel like it really hits on what we were trying to achieve with the album, bringing back that style today. It's got like the sexy, sassy feel. And yeah, I just feel like it was the perfect song to introduce Chez Kane then to the world.
So, well, speaking of that, what's your favorite song on the record?
So my favorite song is the third release, which is Better Than Love. And the reason why is because it's the first track that I demoed for Danny. And it's the song that made me fall in love with the project. So, yeah, it's got a special place in my heart. Yeah.
that was the one I was going to ask you about next, obviously, because there's a video attached to that as well, too. I saw that just released. Congrats on that as well.
Thank you very much.
And that's a cool one, too. And it's the keyboard starts, it's like, but there's just, yeah, I mean, that's kind of even more on the poppy side of things a little bit, but it still has that rock element and stuff to it too. But yeah, I mean, so that was the first song that he sent over to you, or that you did the vocal for?
Yeah, it was. So I just feel like that's the one that got me the project. So yeah, it means a lot to me, that one. And the sax solo, come on. Yeah. Like the Lost Boys, it's like the perfect movie soundtrack. I love it. It
is very much like an 80s montage song, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, like, you know, when they have there's right when things get tough and they gotta show you what all happened and where it's going.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the tune for sure. Are there any others that are particular favorites on the record, or any other one track or two tracks that maybe really kind of stand out for you?
I love Midnight Rendezvous because it's just one of those songs that I think is going to be so much fun live, and it was the most challenging one to sing. Mm-hmm. And I like a challenge. So yeah, Midnight Rendezvous. I can't wait to perform that one. Hi.
Hi, Chez. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you again.
Well, hey, congrats on the new record. It's excellent. I've been listening to it all week.
Oh, thank you so much.
So if you would, talk to me a little bit about sort of how the recording of Powerzone compared to the debut.
Well, to be honest, not a lot was different because when we did the first album, obviously everybody was locked down, so we had to adjust the way we would record the album. So I was doing everything at home, and then Danny was doing everything in Sweden, and we were sending stuff back and forth. But it worked so well that time. We kind of followed in the same footsteps, apart from the fact that I was in a different location. So I still did it at home, but I ended up recording it in a barn.
All right.
Which is quite crazy.
Nice. Hopefully no musical accompaniment from any barnyard animals, I hope.
No, thank God, no. I mean, you might hear little birds tweeting here and there, but
well, Chez, the 80s, we talked a little bit about this last time we talked, but, sort of the 80s and that whole decade is really back in a big way, whether it's with, Stranger Things or Cobra Kai or both of those shows are so huge here. And, or whether it's, bands like Reckless Love or yours truly or you, or Chez Kane. So, what do you think it is, that's sort of made the 80s so cool again?
I'm not sure, but I'm really happy about it. I feel like it was missing for so long. And to be completely honest with you, I think lockdown and the whole pandemic actually gave it a bit of an extra boost as well, because people like obviously Stranger Things and Cobra Kai was trying to bring it back anyway. But I feel like when the pandemic hit, we were all in a bit of a state where we were all feeling quite low. And this style of music obviously makes you feel a lot better. Well, it surely did for me anyway. I was listening to all the albums that I grew up on a bit more, a bit more Def Leppard, because I wanted to be more uplifted. Mm. So I feel like the pandemic has definitely given it a bit of a boost. So I think that's one positive we can take from the pandemic.
You've got a couple videos for this so far, as well for the new record, and they're a bit more risque than maybe perhaps some of the last ones. Did that come naturally to you to do that, or did that take a little bit of encouragement?
So basically, when it came to the second album, Danny kind of approached me and said, "What kind of style do you want to go down for this album?" And instantly, I thought, do you know what? I've grown up looking at people like Lita Ford and Cher, and I always found those women so empowering. And I always looked at them thinking, do you know what? They look amazing. And I could never do that. No, I would never wear that. But I always wanted to. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to step out the box. I'm going to give it a go. It's what I love. I love that image. I always have. And we went down that route and I found it really empowering and I love it.
No, I mean, you pull it off.
It's just me.
No, it's great. It fits. I mean, you know, especially with you have a powerhouse voice like Cher and Lita Ford and Pat Bennett. You know, you have the voice and the sound for it. So yeah, I mean, for sure. And the look is the look goes with it as well, obviously too. But what's the best sort of piece of advice during kind of that whole process, or even perhaps before that you got from Danny Rexon?
Best piece of advice in regards to?
I would say in regards to the videos.
Oh, in the videos. To be honest, we've kind of had like the same vision for the video. So he obviously comes up with some ideas, and then when I actually get to Sweden, things change. So we kind of like we make it up on the spot sometimes. But advice, I don't know, to be honest. We just click so well that he hasn't had to like advise me in any way because we just bounce off each other really well. Does that make sense to you? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. No, fair enough. Absolutely. You know, I read, I think it was, it might have been on Facebook. There was a post, and I'm probably paraphrasing, but you were recording something in the studio, and it referenced that you're a real stickler as far as your vocal performances in the studio and hitting those notes and not really taking any kind of shortcuts there. You know, where does that sort of work ethic come from? And I mean, how challenging is it, you know, to go through a song? I mean, typically, how long does it take you to kind of hit all the right notes and get everything sort of where it belongs?
So anybody who knows me knows that if I've been set a challenge, I have to get that challenge. And I will work really hard to get that challenge. So obviously some of the vocal performances on the album are quite challenging. But then I put in the hard work. I will rehearse. I will practice my vocals. I will make sure that I can get what I need to get for that album, for the song. And then when it comes to recording it, I literally am exhausted at the end recording. Like I could just go to bed and crash out for the whole 24 hours. I just put everything into it. So I think it just comes down to the hard work that I force myself to do.
What was the hardest note to hit on this album?
Let me think. I know there is a challenging one in Powerzone. And I know that the bridge in Love Gone Wild is because it's quite fast and quite high at the same time. So I found that bit a challenge.
I think last time you said Midnight Rendezvous was the tough one.
Yeah, that's the tough one last time. But yeah, the bridges in Love Gone Wild are, if you listen to them, because it's so fast, there's not much air and it's quite high. That was quite a challenge, but I got it.
Kind of speaking to that too. I mean, has it been a challenge taking the songs? I mean, you know, the last time we talked, you hadn't played live yet, I don't think, with the Chez Kane band, and you hadn't taken those songs ever because, you know, we're in the middle of the pandemic and all. But I mean, what's it been like to take those songs, to the live stage with the live band and everything else? I mean, has it been a challenge? Has it been, invigorating? All the above?
Oh, it's been amazing. So obviously I built up all that energy because I didn't get to take the album out on the road straight away because everybody was locked down. So when I did eventually get on stage, obviously all this energy was just there. But I didn't find it much of a challenge singing the songs live as I do when I'm recording, because obviously when you're recording, you want your best. And I obviously will go again and again and again until I feel I've got what I want for the album. So when it comes to singing live, you can always change it up if you need to, or you can just, ad-lib a bit here and there. So not as much as a challenge as recording it, but still obviously the songs are quite high. So I need to be prepared for that.
You're no stranger to the power ballad either, and you have another one here, which is probably my current favorite song on the new record, "Children of Tomorrow Gone." Just an epic, humongous song. But talk a little bit about how that one came together.
So obviously Danny's written all the songs, so he comes up with these insanely great ideas for this music. He sent me that song, and I instantly fell in love with it because when he sends me the songs, if I'm not happy with it, he won't want to put it on the album either. So he likes me to love the songs as well. I instantly fell in love with that song because I thought that particular song brings different elements to other songs that we've done before. When people hear it, they'll hear why. But I feel like it's a good reminiscing song as well. So it's good to look back on. A lot of people who grew up in the 80s will probably listen to that song and it'll bring back some good memories. I just think that is one of the killer songs of the album as well. It's a good song. He's done an amazing job writing that song.
Well, with that being said too, what do you have a favorite power ballad of the 80s or a favorite 2 or 3 that come to mind?
Power ballad of the 80s. Obviously Love Bites comes straight to mind by Def Leppard because Def Leppard were obviously my first love. I also like a song by Winger called Headed for a Heartbreak. That's one song that I keep going back to and playing. There's so many. You put me on the spot now. More. Thinking of more. First Time by Robin Beck is a classic, obviously. I could list so many.
So what do you have coming up next? I mean, obviously, the album's coming out. I know you have some dates announced. I think you're on the Monsters of Rock cruise next year too, right? Which is awesome. It's super exciting. But yeah, what's the kind of the rest of the next 6 months, the next year to kind of hold for you? I mean, just how many dates are you going to be looking to do here?
So I'm heading out on a headline tour across the UK. I'm doing 10 dates, and that starts the week after my album release. So on the 27th of October, I start that tour. I'm then going on to do a show in Belgium, a festival there, All Star Fest. Then I'm doing some festivals in Norway and Sweden in December. I'm going to Spain in January, and then I got the Monsters Rock cruise. So yeah, it's crazy to say. Last time we spoke, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be playing a show.
Right.
And now loads of shows. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, no, super exciting to be on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I can't think of a better bill for you to be on at this, really right now as far as the people on there. I mean, who are you most excited to see on that cruise?
Oh, there's so many, but I've just seen Reckless Love, and I'm going to see them again, and I'm going to be actually on the same ship, playing the same gig as them, so that's pretty exciting. Extreme, obviously, that's quite exciting. Lee Aaron. There's so many. All of them. Everybody.
I know it's a crazy bill. Every time I see that Monsters of Rock cruise coming, I haven't been on one yet, and I'm like, all right, so I think I may be breaking down and gonna have to be on that this year. Just seeing, but every year I'm looking at the lineup, I'm like, oh, this is like, I was like, my liver is gonna be destroyed if I go on this one. But yeah, I may have to pull the trigger on that one too. But
no, I'm so excited. I can't believe my name's on there. I keep looking. I keep going onto their Facebook page and seeing the poster, and it's like, what? It's crazy.
Absolutely. Well, Chez, hey, I'll let you go here, but thank you again so very much for the time. And again, it was a pleasure catching up with you. And again, Powerzone, like I said, another excellent. It really just kind of picks up where the first one left off. So very much enjoy it, and congrats on the new record. And yeah, I'm sure we'll cross paths again soon. As soon as this goes live, probably within the next day or two, I'll be sure to tag you everywhere, and I'm sure Chris will share it on all his socials too. So.
Thank you. It means a lot. And thank you for all the support as well, because I see you popping up on social media all the time, and it really means a lot. Thank you.
Sure thing. Thank you. Hey, take care, Jess. We'll see you soon.
Take care. See you soon.